Well, happy Saturday, everybody. Let's get into that extended forecast. Talk about what's to come not only for the rest of the weekend, but going into this week. A few headlines for you. Just to note already, this weekend so far has been fantastic. What you're looking at right now is the dew point values outside this afternoon for Saturday. And it's very comfortable out there. Daytime highs today reaching up into those upper 70s and low 80s so far today. We've seen a lot of sunshine out there as well, puffy clouds every once in a while. But you've also seen that haze in the sky. You're going to see that haze in the sky once again for your Sunday, maybe even in a Monday as well. That haze in the sky is what we've been talking about the past couple of days. That wildfire smoke has arrived from Canada. We'll dive into that here in just a second. But just want to show you those dew point values, the humidity outside at very comfortable levels through this weekend. Great weekend to get outside. There's a rain chance to talk about, mainly during the overnight hours. If not, if you're waking up early on Sunday morning, we could have some of that rain still left over as well. We'll dive into that here in just a second. First, let's go ahead and talk about that allergy report. It was released yesterday. So here's the current state of things when it comes to those allergies across the area. That mold, that grass, very high for this time of year. Not too unusual for us. That's typical for this time of year, but also really everybody's at least that medium category or above. So if you're sensitive to those allergies, especially late May, early June, this is the time of year where everybody's acting haywire just because they are usually at higher levels. Now, hopefully that starts to dive off once we get a little bit later into the season this summer, though. Of course, you know, those are going to stick around as well. We talked about that haze in the sky. So here's a look at current things this evening. And that's that wildfire smoke. So we've got a lot of fires burning across Canada right now. And that wind is now moving in, dragging that smoke further off towards the south, really at thick levels across parts of the Midwest, places like Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri. For us, it's not too bad when it comes to dropping our air quality. So those who are very sensitive to that smoke, it's not too bad out there right now, but you can still notice the difference a little bit. What you do notice, though, is that haze in the sky. You can see that smoke up there, and you're really going to notice it for our sunsets and our sunrises. So later on this evening, right now, we're just shy of 5 p.m. on a Saturday. So once we get later on this evening, you could start to see maybe your sunsets look a little bit more vibrant because of that smoke. But also going into tomorrow morning as well, if we clear out that cloud coverage left over from the rain chances that we're expecting during the overnight hours, then you look at the sunrise for your Sunday morning, and you may notice that the smoke's still there as well. Now, a few changes are going to happen. Again, that smoke going to try to clear out a little bit better because of that rain chance coming into our Sunday morning. But then once we get to Sunday afternoon into the evening hours, more of that smoke will still be left over across the Midwest. You see getting at very thick levels across the Midwest, parts of the East Coast as well, southeast parts of the United States as well. We'll see that smoke. Good news is by the time we get to the early parts of the week, most of that will be done. Air quality drops off just a little bit, but not too much. Really, you're just going to notice it there in the skies, but also for our sunsets and our sunrises a little bit more. Let's cover these headlines really quick before we dive into the rest of the forecast. Again, overnight tonight, there is going to be that chance that we have for a few isolated thunderstorms, mainly just some scattered showers. That'll carry us into early on our Sunday morning. Warming trend, though, that we're experiencing this weekend, going into early next week, where we'll see those mid to upper 80s. That's still in the forecast. But then really starting Tuesday, that's going to start a very active pattern. And you'll see coming up here in the 10-day forecast, not only heavy rainfall, flooding concerns, severe weather, that's all going to return back into the forecast really for the entire week of June. So let's dive into Futurecast here. And again, this is going into past midnight tonight. So again, we're sitting here at Saturday evening. Most of the rest of the evening, even closer towards that midnight hour, we're going to be fine. It's going to actually be very comfortable out there this evening if you have those plans outdoors. Here's a look at 3 o'clock in the morning going into Sunday. Already maybe a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorm here or there, but overall not too much to be concerned about. Really, the latest model showing a bulk of these leftover thunderstorms are going to be moving in by the time we get early in the morning on Sunday. So let's start it off at 3. We'll take it to 4 here. Now you've still got some of those heavier showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, really mostly eastern Oklahoma, but still some of those scattered showers into western Arkansas. as well, starting off in northwest Arkansas before pushing further south into the river valley. This is where we could start to see some folks waking up a little bit early on a Sunday morning and it still be raining outside. This is a look at 5 a.m. going into Sunday. Scattered showers, heavy rainfall, really riding that state line between Oklahoma and Arkansas. That's where you're going to find the best chances for some of that heavier rainfall, maybe a few more of those isolated thunderstorms, but the overall severe risk is very low. Not zero, but very low. If anything, we could have some strong winds, maybe an isolated hail core or two. That's waking up at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Some scattered showers, heavy rainfall still across parts of I-49. Parts of the river valley really going to see those scattered showers. But then once we get closer towards that 8 a.m. hour, maybe once we're starting to head out the door for those activities for the day, most of that rainfall is done. Sure, a few scattered showers here and there, but then you look at the rest of your Sunday and all of that's going to clear out. Sunshine breaks out. Our daytime highs for tomorrow are still expected to be great. So again, really most of the activity is going to be very late at night tonight, really early tomorrow morning. Let's give it a general window between around 3 a.m. and let's say 7 a.m. Sunday morning. So if you plan on sleeping in tomorrow, great. You'll bypass the rain completely. If you're waking up early, you want to get some outdoor chores done, especially cutting that grass. You know, we tried to mention it yesterday. If you wanted to cut that grass, cut it today, because if you wake up Sunday morning thinking you're going to get those chores done early, going to get that grass cut in the morning hours, may have to wait until the afternoon for that grass to dry out just a bit, because we're going to be dealing with some wet grass throughout the morning hours. This has changed a little bit. This is a look at our severe chance for tonight. It's our lowest end threat. It's just that level 1 marginal risk, so no need to really panic for this evening, but there is a chance for a few isolated thunderstorms. Main threats would be some small hail, maybe some strong winds, little to no tornado risk associated with this chance for severe weather. But this is the outlook for tonight. You see that green painted across northwest Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, parts of the river valley. Again, really these thunderstorms are going to be dying out on their way to western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. We'll just have to keep an eye out early tomorrow morning to see if there's still some of that energy left. Here's a look at tomorrow afternoon, though. Again, once we get to the day part hours and into the late morning and into the early afternoon, we start to climb up into those 70s. Daytime highs tomorrow expected to be into those low to mid 80s. Overall, fantastic end to the weekend. Lots of sunshine breaks out for the afternoon as well. Should be pretty nice. All right, this is where we get to the cool part of the extended forecast, where we get to dive into some different material here. And also coming Sunday night, going into our Monday morning, something a little bit different here. Something it's actually a rare occasion we don't see very often, the chance for some of those northern lights. Now, we've had this last year. I remember it. It was one of those chances where it was close to zero, but we couldn't exactly say we wouldn't see it at all. We'll have another one of those chances. So this is going to be late Sunday night going into early on Monday morning. For those who are looking for the dates, it's going to be June 1st going into June 2nd. NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center is monitoring very powerful eruption that is going to send the potential for some northern lights our direction further south than what we usually see. So definitely northern parts of the United States going to have a really good chance of seeing some of those northern lights. We're talking about parts of Minnesota, parts of North Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York. They tend to get onto the party of those northern lights a few times a year. It's not too rare for them. For us, definitely further off south, it's definitely rare for us. We're going to keep ourselves in the chance here. But I tell you what, that chance is still very low. A few things going to become an issue Sunday night into Monday morning if you plan on staying late. One is going to be the chances for that smoke to still be around. If that smoke is thicker across parts of the Midwest and parts of the South, then that smoke from the Canadian wildfires could get in the way of things. Good news is that we're not expecting lots of cloud coverage, so it should see some mostly clear skies late Sunday night into early Monday morning. So we're going to keep ourselves in the chance. I tell you what, if you live in northwest Arkansas, especially you live close to the state line, obviously I'm never going to encourage people to make that drive up to the Midwest to see these northern lights. But if you're adventurous enough, maybe you have that chance. I tell you what, if you plan on staying home, though, and you just want to stay up late, though, do me a favor. And if you want to watch this, your best bet is going to be taking your iPhone out away from lights. What I mean by that is light pollution. So if you're in one of those rural areas, you have a better chance of capturing some of those photos. Best chance for you to see these is going to be, I'll take my phone right here and do it, is taking your phone, pointing it towards the sky, and letting the camera be almost your eyes for you. And that's going to show you those northern lights. That's how I saw it way back when we had those northern lights. So again, this is going to be Sunday night going into Monday morning. Best chances for us that storm eventually weakens by the time we get to Monday evening for us. So a little bit of a rare occasion. Still might not see all of it, but here's your heads up that we could have a chance Sunday night into Monday morning. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the week's forecast. Still got a lot to talk about here. Again, really nice end of the weekend, start of the week as well. Monday and Tuesday still into those mid-80s across northwest Arkansas. And then the changes come by the time we get to Tuesday night into Wednesday. And you see that big temperature difference for us. We'll drop down from the mid to upper 80s to those upper 70s and low 80s. You know what that means. That means rain chances. That means thunderstorm chances are going to be back into the forecast. So let's talk about it. Here's a look at that day 4 outlook. This is for Tuesday night. Parts of northwest Arkansas, parts of eastern Oklahoma associated in that day 4 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to be on the last little bit of some thunderstorms associated with our next cold front that's going to be arriving. That can bring some severe weather back into the forecast Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Unfortunately, that is not going to be our only chance for heavy rainfall, thunderstorms back into the forecast. This is actually going to be the starting catalyst for all of this Tuesday night into Wednesday, because then the rest of the forecast, the rest of next week through the weekend, we're going to have heavy rainfall, multiple thunderstorms back into the forecast. Not everything's going to be severe. Actually, I tell you what, right now, this is our only outlook that we have from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll update you as we get a little bit closer, but definitely this upcoming work week looks like it's going to be a wet one. It looks like it's going to involve thunderstorms as well. We're going to be tracking everything coming up this week. Biggest concern, though, is going to be the flooding. So, again, this weekend, not too bad. This is picking up, though, this map that you're looking at here, the rainfall that we're going to see overnight into tomorrow morning. It is including that. But really what it's factoring in is the potential rainfall that we could see through the next 7 days. Of course, that takes us all the way out to next Saturday. We're going to be in for a lot of rainfall. We've got a bunch of different colors here, so let's walk you through that table up top there. Kind of that darker red, not the orange you see there in eastern Oklahoma, parts of western Arkansas. Really, the darker red is what takes up a vast majority of northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and that's going to be right around that 4 up to 5 inches of rainfall. Now, again, some models suggest a little bit lower, so let's call it a general outlook between 3 up to 5 inches right now expected over the next 7 days. Now, there are certain areas that are going to see higher amounts than that. It all just depends on where these thunderstorms train over the same areas over and over again over a course of several days in a row. It's going to be one of those weeks. Beginning of June looks to be pretty wet for us. If you take it back to last year, we've looked at the data. Last year, we had an early couple systems in our June 2024. But the amount of rainfall was only right around 4 inches for northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, closer towards 4 to 5 inches across the River Valley for the entire month. We could pick that up in the first week this summer. Obviously, that data just compares year to year of what we see, but this first week of June, you got those plans, those summer vacation plans locally. You could be in for a wet week coming up with the chance for some severe weather as well. Here's a look at what we're expecting. I'm actually going to back this up just a little bit, take it to late Tuesday evening. Here's a look around 8 o'clock. This is kind of some long-range data here, so not near perfect. We want to get within the next 48. We want to get within 48 hours of that storm system to be able to give you some really good times of arrival. So we're sitting here several days out from this arrival, but a cold front's going to arrive. Going to be moving in, let's say, around 8, 9 o'clock, some thunderstorms in northwest Arkansas, and then we get to the overnight hours. Unfortunately, that's where we're going to see that cold front kind of move in, and that's where we're going to see the chances for some strong winds, some hail, That's what seems to be the case right now, but definitely the start of those thunderstorms will be with us. But then that front is going to stay with us, not only for our Wednesday, but for our Thursday as well. This is where we start to run into some flooding concerns, because now we're talking about the same areas over and over again, getting some very heavy rainfall. Finally, that front pushes through by the time we get to Friday. I'll tell you what, we are looking at, of course, this is the extended forecast, some long-range data here. Friday looks to be the day that we avoid a lot of the heavy rainfall before more rain chances pick up going into this upcoming weekend. That front's going to stall out across southern Arkansas, kind of serve as a shield for us on Friday at least, for one day before more rain chances return by the time we get to next weekend. This is a look at the temperature outlook for the first week of June. Obviously, we are going to be into that blue sector there that is below average. You know why? That's because we're going to be dealing with multiple rain chances as well. They're highlighted for that precipitation outlook as well. We're definitely involved in that green, dark green zone there for above average rate of rainfall. Amount picked up for the first week of June. So again, you got those plans early this upcoming summer. Those summer plans, first week of June, doesn't look like a great forecast for Northwest Arkansas over the next 10 days. Let's take a look at that 10-day forecast. Again, let's start from just Sunday morning. Scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms possible, let's say, through the 6 to 8 a.m. hour. Then the rest of your Sunday looks absolutely fantastic. That's why we haven't added that thunderstorm icon there for Sunday, because unless you're waking up early on Sunday, that's when you'd run into the rainfall. Most of the day going to be pretty nice outside. Not too humid either. Monday looks great. Tuesday throughout most of the day looks great as well. Tuesday night going into Wednesday, that's when that cold front's going to arrive. And then from there, a lot of rain chances the rest of our upcoming work week. Friday, that's when we get a little bit of a break, but more rain chances will return going into next weekend and into early next week as well. Again, we showed you that 1 to 7 day outlook for how much rainfall we could pick up. Anywhere between, let's call it right now, just conservative numbers, around 3 up to 5 inches of rainfall definitely looks possible over the next 7 days. But that only takes us out through Saturday. Then you get Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, late into that 10-day forecast. Early signs showing us that more rain chances would be possible. Across the river valley, again, waking up tomorrow morning, you want to get that grass cut, you want to get the flower bed taken care of, you want to get the garden taken care of, whatever it may be. If you're waking up early, you could run into some scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. That's definitely possible. That's definitely likely at this point, early tomorrow morning. The afternoon, though, looks great. Sunday afternoon, mid-80s, lots of sunshine, should be pretty comfortable as well. That nice forecast continues into Monday. That's where we get into the territory of being a little bit too warm. Upper 80s, low 90s will definitely be possible to start off our work week. And then Tuesday night going into Wednesday, that's when we could have some thunderstorms back into the forecast as well. A few severe storms would be likely at this point. That day 4 outlook sure points at the factor that we could see some severe storms. So we'll keep an update on that as we get a little bit closer. Just know that the rest of the work week from there, starting Tuesday, really through our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, multiple rain chances, thunderstorm chances will be back into the forecast. Flooding concern definitely going to be climbing throughout the week. For that first week of June, looks very busy for us. So again, just some headlines to cover for us. We've had a nice weekend so far. There's some rain chances overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. If you want to stay up late Sunday night into Monday, that's when we have the chance for some of those northern lights. Best chance to see them, it's going to be through your phone. And starting Tuesday night into Wednesday will be the beginning of that active pattern with thunderstorm chances and heavy rainfall back into the forecast. We're going to try to do these extended forecasts as much as possible, dive into some of the content that we can't talk about on air because we're deemed a certain amount of time that we can talk about it. So this is a free amount of time to talk about weather, what's coming up for us locally, what's going on nationally as well, and get you going for the week. So we'll try to do more of these as we continue on throughout the season, the summer season, and give you the best outlook that we can of what's happening nationally, because you're going to be traveling all over the country for those vacation plans. From 5 News, I'm meteorologist Stephen Elmore. That's your 5+ extended forecast.